There's a lot of talk about core values, purpose, and fulfillment. I'm talking about it all the time. It can be annoying and frou-frou and rainbow and gumdrops sometimes, I know. And it's important. Because if you don't know what's going on in here, you're going to be impacting the world in ways you might not intend to, and it's going to respond in ways that you might not want it to. Lived it, been there, done that, not anymore. Be clear about what you believe in and train the people around you how to deal with you. You know what I mean? If you allow people to treat you one way, that's how they're going to treat you. If you say, nope, I draw the line there, they will either budge or get out of your way. Now, there are some situations where you have to kind of be careful because you're at work and you have to kind of honor others' core values and other ways of working and you're getting paid. Still, train the people around you what you will do, what you will not do, what you will tolerate, and what you will not tolerate. It gives you so much freedom to say, I'm going to stay in line with this. I know myself, I honor myself, I try to honor the values of others and stay true to the path that the divinity in the universe put me on, which is partly these videos. Thank you for joining me, for real. When I first came to New York City, and I talk about this all the time because it was such a significant part of my life, I had left Michigan, a very small town, and an unfinished chemistry degree to come here to join the circus. At least that's what my father thought. I was joining the circus. I wasn't joining the circus. I love the circus, by the way. I had this dream to dance. And I didn't even know at the time that it was a career possibility. I just thought, what would happen if I came to New York City and trained with people like me? I was soon to find out how hard that was going to be. And I think what got me through that time was, for some reason, my core values of integrity, of loyalty, of being seen, of self-expression, of creativity, and being in service really kept me on the path of training and believing in my talent and having confidence enough to stay here during those really, really dark times of the first 2 years, my first 2 summers. Really, really challenging. Maybe one day I'll talk about that in a video, but not for now. For now, trust me when I say to you, it was the toughest summer of my life. And I don't know if I've had a summer that tough since. Because at the time I went through that summer, I did not know the glory, the absolute euphoria, and achievement that would be on the other side. I was just doing the work, day by day by day. And this is why core values have always been so important to me, and why I think you'll find they're important to you too. I wonder sometimes what that summer might have been like if I was consciously pursuing this dream, knowing that I was on a path of my core values, on a path of my purpose. I don't know. I'm going to guess that it would have been. And so I want to help you identify your core values, because wherever you are in your life, whether you're a student beginning your career or you're on the other side of it trying to find your next passion, identifying your core values is an essential part of personal development. Hi, my name is Aubrey Lynch. Welcome to my channel, your place for reflection, self-awareness, and loving yourself, whatever you find inside, because it's not always pretty. Gotta live it anyway. Welcome. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a list of core values to see if any of them resonate with you. And if they do, rank them in order. We'll get that to the end, so stick around for that list. So here are 10 tried and true steps to identify your core values. Let's get to it. Number 1, of course, you've got to first of all understand the importance of core values. I've got a whole video about that. 10 reasons why understanding your core values are important. Click the video, check that one out, and then watch this one. Most importantly, as you'll see in the other video, it really helps guide our decisions, helps us put us in a place where we really, really want to be by honoring who we really are. When you're living in alignment with your core values, everything else in life starts to make sense, especially what you do in the world, because you're driven out of bed to honor that core value and hopefully get paid. It's tricky when your core value is not aligned with your work. You've got to somehow fulfill that core value somewhere else and use the work to fuel the time you have to honor your core value. But the holy grail is to blend them together so that the purpose of your life and the work you do in the world is in alignment with your core value and you're getting paid. That's the dream. So number 1 was understanding the importance of core values. Number 2 is getting to the work, self-reflecting. The whole point of these videos is to remind us the importance of self-reflection and self-awareness. Keep a journal. If you don't keep a journal and write every day, that's okay, but just have a place where you can write down your thoughts, stream of consciousness without judging yourself, to kind of get it out of your head onto the paper so you can reflect on what you're feeling and experiencing in a non-judging way. Just put it out there. Reflect on your life experiences that were particularly meaningful to you and ask yourself this question: what was important about that moment? What was going on inside of me? Who was there? What was happening? And what was making me so happy and fulfilled? If you can put a word on that, was it integrity? Was it respect? Was it being seen? Was it expressing yourself? Whatever that was, I'm talking about thrill of a roller coaster, right? That kind of memory. If I can't recreate that same experience, I can take the feeling I had about that experience and see if I can find that somewhere else. So for example, for me, I loved teaching The Lion King. And when I left The Lion King, I thought, how am I going to fulfill that feeling of giving personally to people information that they're going to need to be successful? How am I going to replace that feeling of giving people information that they'll need to make their lives better and richer? The next job I had, which was Harlem School of the Arts, where I was able to teach children dance. Whoa, that was so fulfilling. Even sometimes more fulfilling than Lion King was, because I was actually having immediate impact on a real human being who was starting their whole life. Powerful. Reflect on your big decisions. When you made a big decision that went well, what was guiding the decision? What was behind that? I'm not quite sure exactly when I look back what my decision making was around coming to New York City, but it might have been discovery, wanting to know more. I was so curious about discovering what was going to happen if I just went. And if I didn't go, I would never know. So now when I make big decisions, I go, am I honoring discovery? Am I honoring my curiosity? Am I honoring the desire to know more in this big decision? Try it, it really, really works. Number 3, identify role models. No one does this alone. So find people that have either done what you've done or done things that you love and respect, and ask yourself, why is what they're doing so powerful and meaningful to me? Ask yourself, what values are they honoring? What core beliefs are steering their lives? What root belief systems are guiding their decision making? And what inspires you about them might also guide your decision making. And if you really want to get to some juicy work, make a list of your role models and then list under each one all the things you admire about them. And from that list, you may be able to identify traits that will be guiding your life and your decision making. Because there's a reason why we're inspired by some people and not others. There's a reason why we're drawn to a role model. It's because quite often we are sharing their core beliefs, or they have core beliefs that maybe we want. Number 4, evaluate past experiences, both the positive and the negative. They'll be very telling. When you think about a moment that was thrilling and beautiful and fulfilling, what was happening inside of you? What were the traits being honored? When you had that moment where you felt crushed or devastated by something, what core value is being stepped on? Sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where we are upset and we're not even quite sure why, and there's this angst happening inside and you're hyperventilating and you want to cry, you want to scream, and you're reacting to something. Chances are a core value has been crushed or devastated. And in those negative memories, think about what was not honored. What was it that hurt so bad? Not the actual action. What about you was crushed? If you were, let's say, fired from a job, the core value of good work and integrity was crushed. Well, I was doing a good job. Why was it let go? That tells you that integrity is going to be important in the next job. It doesn't mean that it'll be honored, but it means that it's important to you and helps steers you in your next set of choices. And as you review these negative and positive experiences, what themes keep reemerging? What was celebrated, what was crushed? And those two can be the same. Here my integrity was celebrated, here my integrity was crushed. Here my respect was celebrated, here my respect was crushed. Respect. Okay, respect is a core value. Let's try to avoid going down into the angst of self-reflection so that we're not living our lives. That's not what I'm talking about. A life without self-reflection is a life without evolution, but a life with too much reflection is a life not lived. There's gotta be a balance of reflecting and living and reflecting on the living, right? See what I'm saying? Okay, don't forget that. Number 5, consider your passions and interests. What are you passionate about? What really drives you out of bed? Let's say you love to play baseball. Think about what about the baseball that you love to play after work drives you to get there. Make sure you do it when you're tired, when it's raining, when it's cold. You've got to play baseball. It could be the competition. It could be the sense of community. Your passion will be a real arrow pointing towards your core values. Number 6, prioritize your values. Whatever they are, whether they're respect or timeliness or love and joy and family, you've got to prioritize them so that they actually have a place in your life. Make room for them. Number 7, seek feedback. Not from everyone. Seek feedback, but not from everyone. Feedback from trusted people. Emphasis on trusted. People that are positive, people that are also on the road to self-fulfillment, self-awareness, self-reflection, people that are also on the journey and path that you're on that share your core values. Feedback from them is very, very helpful. Ask someone you trust, what core value do you see in me? What are some of my must-haves? What is the root of my decision-making that you notice as I navigate the world? Make sure they're trusted and make sure you're ready for the answer. Not judging the answer. Whatever it is, give them permission to tell you the truth. And if you're not ready for that, don't ask. Don't ask if you're not ready for the truth. Number 8, visualize your ideal self. Go there. Imagine the grandest version of yourself and all of your glory, all of your values, all of your achievement, success, and beauty, and power, and elegance, and divinity. Really imagine what life would be like if you could be the person you want to be. I'm not talking about money and things or status and power and glitz and glam. If that comes, hooray for you! Great! I'm talking about this. What is the grandest version of yourself? Full of love, full of light, full of value and integrity. Whatever that is for you, imagine it as if it is made manifest. Put on your music and envision yourself, what that is. And then ask yourself, what are the values of that self you're envisioning? What's so beautiful and glorious and grand about that person? Oh, integrity. Oh, respect. Oh, love. Oh, community. Whatever it is, take note of that. Visualize it and take note of what you feel and see. Visualization is a powerful, powerful tool, and I encourage you to all do this. I do this. I put on my music and I envision the life that I want in all of its glory and beauty and power and self-awareness and self-reflection and contentment and fulfillment. I just go there and imagine what that would be like. And sometimes it's not clear how to get there. That's not important. What's important is you can see it, you can envision it, you can imagine it becoming real, and you can ask yourself, what is it about that ideal life that I want to have in myself? Because it's probably already there. It's already inside of you. It lives and breathes and it's full of light and it's guiding you. You want to make sure it's guiding you purposefully and consciously and not by accident. Number 9, getting close here. Test your values. Yeah. Test them. Testing them will really inform you how much you're honoring them or willing to honor them and how willing you are to cast them aside if necessary. Once you feel you've identified a few of your core values, here's the challenge. For the next week or even a month, live your life in a way that you're making decisions based on that core value. Whatever that core value is. If that core value is integrity, you ask yourself, with every major decision you make, what is the thing to do that has the most integrity? And stick to it. And see how quickly you cast it aside. Because if you cast it aside, then maybe that's not a very strong core value. It's a tough test, but a good one. Because this is how you grow. It's really understanding what you're willing to stand by, what you're willing to be unmoved by, what a part of you is unshakable, what part of you is a deal breaker that you are not going to sacrifice. That's your core value. Then when you've made a decision based on that core value, really notice and be aware of how you feel. It might be uncomfortable because by honoring your core value, you might make somebody angry or might hurt someone's feelings or might have to do something that's not a popular decision. But how does it make you feel by honoring that core value if that core value is truly one of your own? You can see now how what would happen if you began making decisions based on the core values of others or based on what you think their core values are, but they're not true to you. What kind of life that starts to unfold. And a lot of us are living that life. So to get back on track, start making decisions based on your core values, even the tough ones. Now, when you find yourself in conflict of making these decisions, well, here's my core value. I noticed that I really can't make that because of all of this. Then it's time to ask a question. In what ways can I adjust my life so that I am more in alignment with my value? This is not easy stuff, people. This is not easy to do. And if you don't do the work, it is much harder to find happiness and fulfillment in your life. Number 10, you guessed it, commit to your values. What's the point of having them if you're not going to commit to them? And as I keep saying, committing to them is not going to be easy. It's not going to always feel good in the moment. But in the end, when you're reflecting on the bigger game of life, you will find value in the fulfillment you feel having stuck to those values and committed to them. Your capacity to commit to a core value is going to actually inform you how important that core value is. If you're willing to cast it aside for the money, then maybe that's not important to you. If you cast it aside and you feel terrible, then it is important to you. And you might have to decide what's more important, the money or the core value. Difficult stuff, right? And then assess the ones that you're willing to really stand by. Here's what I'm not going to do. No matter what happens, when you got to stand up to your family or stand up to your boss or stand up to your best friend and say, this is a line I'm not going to cross. You do it respectfully, you do it out of love and out of respect for their values, but say, love you as I do, we're not going there. And you have a right to do that. And sometimes it's scary, it can be very emotional. If you stay clear, I'm trying to honor my core value of XYZ. It's going to make me do A, B, C, and D, and that's how we're going to roll. If you practice doing this and you practice committing to these values, your life becomes stronger, more confident in all things we're talking about. So, reviewing. Understand the importance of core values. Self-reflection. Identify role models. Evaluate past experiences, the good, bad, and the ugly. Consider your passions and interests. Prioritize your values. Seek feedback from trusted loved ones. Not from everyone. Visualize your ideal self, the grandest, most incredible version of yourself. Test your values. Commit to your values. That's it. Not an easy road to go down, but a fulfilling one. I have a life of honoring core values. I've had conflict and heartache and heartbreak and humiliation and all of the things that will impact leading in a way full of core values. And I am proud of what I've been able to do despite it. I can really live in myself and know that I did what I felt was right for me and right for those around me. I was not being selfish. I was not being narcissistic or full of myself. I have lived a life of allowing my core values to guide me. And I've made some very difficult decisions, and I have had an incredible life as a result. It did not come without pain and darkness. Following your path to greatness, or your path to self-fulfillment, or your path to self-awareness and fulfillment is not going to be full of love, light, gumdrops, and bluebirds. It's just not, because you have to navigate the shenanigans of our world. And there are people walking around totally unaware of their core values, totally unaware of how they're impacting and bulldozing over their friends, loved ones, co-workers, and the world. And they're making a mess. And we're left to clean up that mess. We can do it through love, through light, and by knowing the self. We can, because by honoring your core values and being true to yourself and committing to your core values is a beacon for others to do the same. Just like you have your role models and you're looking up to them, there are people looking up to you. So no matter how humble our lives are, it's our birthright to honor the life that the divine universe bestowed upon us, whatever that is. Please remember that. Here are some core values I found online that may resonate with you. Agility, innovation, growth, curiosity, creativity, service, productivity, quality, honesty, integrity, character, authenticity, truth, trust, teamwork, friendship, family, autonomy, communication, courage, risk-taking, etc., etc., etc. I'll leave a full list in the description that I found online, and have a look and see what you find. As I always say, don't be afraid of the answers. They're all you. Please like, subscribe, share, turn on the notification bell, and let's down this road of self-reflection, self-awareness, and being a better person and loving yourself, whatever you find. See you there.